Good morning, good morning. Hi, Bri. You're bright and early. Welcome to the studio. Today we're going to be jumping into a huge piece that I started, when did I start this? Probably 3 weeks ago. So it's had 2 sessions and then it's been drying a while. But this is going to be very different to when I paint in my sketchbook, and it's very fast and very changing ideas every 5 minutes. This is building up areas very slowly, and hopefully today we can get a bit of the face and the hand done. So let's have a look at what I'm up to. One sec. That's the one. So this is my lovely lady I'm working on at the moment, and with this piece I'm definitely striving for the full realism. Oh, hi Melody! How are you? Yeah, so when we're going the full realism, it's definitely something that we take our time doing, and it's definitely something that sort of takes layers and layers. And it might be the case that you'll see it on live stream today, and then you'll see it in a month from now, and you'll be like, there's no way they're the same painting. But I promise you they are. These things are just weird. So it's kind of interesting showing you this like ugly stage where I've just got chunks of color everywhere, and I've sort of really been trying to solidify my drawing. Because yeah, she's not a pretty lass quite yet. Oh, hi Kat! Welcome! Good morning. Thank you so much for being so considerate. Sorry I had to start a little bit later today, but yes, the pup's in puppy play care today, so I don't need to worry what she's up to. I can just relax and paint. We like to put her in sort of one day a fortnight sort of thing, just for the socialization, and she gets to play with other dogs, which is great. And it's all supervised heavily, so we know that she's completely safe. And yeah, I really like puppy play care, and they send me cute photos at 4 o'clock of her playing with the other dogs. So that's always wonderful. But yeah, no, it's been really good for her. We haven't had any issues with her with other dogs, other than she just wants to play all the time. And we're hoping that, yeah, continuing the sort of socialization where she gets to meet all different dogs of all different sizes. Morning, Jess! How you going? Yeah, we're hoping puppy play care will mean that she doesn't have any aversions to any other dogs for any reason. That would be great. Alright, I'm just picking out some brushes. Which ones are the cleanest and the right size for what I want? We need to have a big brush cleaning day, but I don't think you guys want that as a live stream because that is boring. Normally I just have to sort of get every single brush I think is grotty. But that one's a bit goopy. Let me get another cup. One second. Oh. Fresh cup. Always like a fresh cup day. But yes, how has everyone's morning been? Is everyone at work or at home? Hopefully recreating a little bit. Okay. Always looks like a little cup of whiskey, these guys. Just a bit of the liquid fine detail medium. Alright. Now I've got my reference photo as a printout. Okay, where do I want to start today? I think I'm going to start just building up some darks in the hair. Let's use up. I don't know which blobs are dry and which blobs aren't, so if I have to keep reloading my palette, I apologise. I can actually show you, hold on. I've got like a whole table set up next to me. They're all down there, so I've got my palette down here, I've got all my tubes, all that sort of things. Oh, Bri, you're still on lockdown, aren't you, you poor thing? But yay, Tortoise, helping! Kind of, by not working. Oh, Kat, you're painting along tonight? Yay! And Melody too, yay! Yes, Tortoise is a cat who's annoyed at the world, but we love her anyway. Yeah! I'm here for PJs, I'm wearing PJ pants on the bottom. I was wearing going out pants when I dropped off Dipper, and then I was just like, no! Back to PJs the second I got home. The only disadvantage of PJs is so many ladies' PJs don't have pockets, and I am a big fan of the pockets. So I'm still using reasonably thin paint because I want it to build up gradually, but I'm just gonna try and add some of these darkest shapes in. I really see where the hair is going. Normally I don't paint the hair at all until the last minute because it goes over the skin, but this is more so I can see where the edges of my skin. Yeah. Ray, I didn't catch the end of your stream last night. Did you get to playing Donut Country? Or not? We were having a lovely time chatting in Bry's stream over on Twitch, which everyone should go check out, Bry Supersaurus. Serious fun time over there. And Bry's actually streaming tonight, so you should go give him a follow on Twitch because he's doing a big collab stream playing Minecraft for the first time, which I admit I have no idea how to play Minecraft, so that might be fun to watch. I think I will be there for sure. See what the fuss is about. I watched people play Minecraft, but I have no idea what's going on. This should be fun. Yeah. Oh, you did eventually start playing the game. Yay! Well done. That's the hardest part, isn't it? When you're having a good time chatting, sometimes you just don't get organised with the actually playing the games, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Now this model has absolutely stunning red hair, but it's actually sort of 4 or 5 different shades in the photo because she's got a blue light coming at her on this side. That's what this blue here is signifying. And then on this side she's got a really warm light hitting her. So this is all going to be sort of golden red, and then this is very purpley blue. So if things are confusing, that's why. But that's half the fun. You guys want to zoom in a bit on what I'm doing? I might zoom in. Hi Kylie! How are you? How's your morning? Or evening? Messing up everyone's time zones today. I'm just going to zoom you in a bit. Oh, wrong way. Why went? Oh, what did I do? Sorry guys, I'm using the manual camera controls instead of just moving the tripod, which sometimes is easier. Yeah, that'll do. I'll move it up if we go up. So the only thing I find with using a webcam as opposed to a camera is sometimes the fine details they don't pick up as much, but we shall persevere. I am hoping eventually, one of my mates has a capture card and we were going to try out my point and click camera as a webcam, but he is crazy busy, and that is fine, because I'm too much of a wuss to just buy one to try out, because money. So I will wait patiently and then we'll catch up at some point and give it a go, and if that works then I'll buy a capture card and we'll see how I go with that. She's got this crazy shadow coming down the side of her face there and cutting through her eye, which I absolutely love because it kind of looks like a scar. So I definitely want to preserve that as much as possible. Just mixing up a slightly lighter tone. Need more drops. Definitely isn't one of those paintings that I've gone like, oh, I'm just going to use these 7 tubes. This one I'm really letting myself just sort of play with colours until I find the right ones. Oh, Zelda has joined! Yay! Zelda and Tortoise! Oh, Kylie, you're at work as well. You're not the only one. That's okay. Tell me if I'm helping or hindering being productive. You guys can ask me questions about your work if it helps, but I don't know if I'll have any good answers for you. Tell that person as per the last email. What did I do there? It's been a while since I've been in a more corporate job. Because my last couple of jobs were retail, and before that it was graphic design, which was more corporate. It's probably been 4 years since I've been in a more corporate job. I do not miss answering the phone all the time. Hated the phones. Who doesn't hate the phones? And emails for that matter. Although yesterday I had the best day. I actually cleared out my inbox of all but 3 emails, which is just the most palpable, satisfying feeling ever. So that was my big achievement yesterday. As I left my studio in a pigsty, which I have tidied this morning, so I made up for that this morning a bit. But yeah, the emails felt so good to get through. No worries, Bri. No worries. Because today's painting is a much slower process. It's absolutely fine if you've got to duck in and out, but you'll get to see it slowly build. Slowly. It's working out the shadows on this side of the face. I think they've got to be a lot darker than they're currently looking. Which is fine. We've got lots of time to make it darker. You tell me if my head gets in the way, because I'm going to bring myself closer. Yeah. Pretty. Blue. Teal. Got this great blue, actually called Vibrant Blue. I'm like, that is exactly what I want in a paint. Oh, can you see it in that one? What about this one? Yeah, that's better. Vibrant Blue. And it's just a little bit electric, which is lovely. I love bright colours. Especially when I've got this crazy blue light coming in. I've mostly used that Michael Harding Thylacine turquoise. But I'm going to mix this in a little bit to give it that cooler tone. Yeah, turquoise can be quite a warm colour. And just completely overpowered the Vibrant Blue straight away. There we go. Yeah, see, that's going to be nice and bright, which is good. That's very, very blue in person. I know it only looks a bit light on camera, but it's getting me. Yeah, that's nice. Right. That's going to be awesome. Okay. I want this area up here to almost all be blue, and then we'll go back into it with darks. I know some of you might be going, it's already blue, what are you talking about? But sometimes you need to start on a wet paint, or I like to sometimes paint wet in wet. So if I chuck down some nice wet ones at the moment of these electric colours, and then paint into it with light and dark colours, that will give me that nice mix, because this is actually going to be a see-through fabric, it's transparent. And I haven't done that much in transparent fabrics before, so this is a bit of a challenge. Because I like to make life hard for myself, apparently. Alright, I think we're gonna play with this little area of fabric. So let me move the camera up a smidge. There you go. And we'll play with that area of fabric and see how we go in our first experiment into transparent fabrics. Just getting the dark out. I'm using a filbert brush at the moment, but I might switch to a angle shader so I can get sharper lines. We'll see. Now I need a bit of gold coming good at one point. Just mixing up a few little blobs of tones so I can play. Oh, I need more white. Such palette, because I always think some, it turns out it's dry and crusty. Alright, bye. Okay. Hey Dina, how are you? Do you pre-process reference images to be more in line with the chroma you want to use? I am definitely using a reference image, yes. This is actually a photograph that one of my friends who's a model and one of her friends who's a photographer, they got together, did a photo shoot, and then at the end the model sent me a message and went, "Oh Liz, you'll like this. Have a look at what we made today." And I just went, holy shit, this is 100% what I love to paint. You guys are amazing. Can I buy 3 of the reference images off you? So they showed me the stock sheets and then I picked out 3 shots and I paid them both for those 3 shots so I can use them for paintings because they are so killer. And this was the first one I wanted to do because it's definitely sort of, it's very quiet but fiery, which I know is a contradiction, but it's like such intense colours, but she's having a real internal moment, being sort of shrouded and closed in and looking down, and she's sort of really having an internal moment, but the image sort of shouts at you with how bright the red and orange in her face versus all the blue is. So yeah, that was sort of my thinking with it. And that's the one that got me the most excited. And the other 2 are full figure shots, so I think those paintings would need to be bigger, and I will worry about bigger when I have time to worry about bigger. But yes, with the reference images, when I print them off, I normally have sort of 2 or 3 versions. I have a black and white version, a high chroma version, and a normal chroma version. The high chroma version, it mainly helps when I step back from the painting. I want to make sure only the main areas are shouting at me, not everything. Because in the high chroma version, yeah, one bit will be really bright, and then the rest of the image, if it's really bright, it might be distracting. So I want to make sure I'm keeping the high chroma in the area of focus, which in this case, of course, is the face. So I want the eye to sort of come across the painting and then rest on the face, is my plan. I really like messing with the way the eye travels across a painting. That's always something I focus on. And it can be something like if I've got a really nice figure who has their arm like this and sort of you've got this nice curl, and then this other arm's doing this other stupid thing, that's when I'll tuck the other arm behind or edit the image in some way where I can keep the focus where I want the eye to go. So yeah, I always encourage sort of mess with your reference images until they show you what you want to see. And that's why I've had a lot of issues with like screens and things, like copying off reference photos off my phone look completely different to off my computer and off a printout. I do really like printouts the best, mainly because I can hold them and move them around, but I didn't have a printer until, what, a month ago, so I've been making do with photos printed off at Officeworks and the screen for most of this year, which hasn't been too bad, especially because my screen is on a little arm now, so I can move it right near where I'm painting, so that's quite handy. And for things like the sketchbook stuff, I don't mind painting off the screen because they're only quickies and less time inclusive. Time using. Less time important. Oh, those little lights are just absolutely popping already. That's lovely. We like that. We like that. Yeah. The only time I sort of don't paint with reference is when I'm painting from life, and one could argue that's still painting with reference because the reference is the person in front of you. I don't do much painting at all out of my head unless it's like cloudscape painting. I've got a whole section on my website of cloudscape painting, and often I do still have a reference there, but I don't really like follow it. It's more of just an idea of clouds. But clouds was something I started painting back in like, 2013, 2014 or something really early. And they're the closest thing to me painting abstractly or organically, because they just let me play with colour and light and sort of go with the flow a bit. You can just paint forms and then see where the paintbrush takes you, and if you want to suddenly change things you can. There's no rules really. There are if they were realistic clouds, obviously you've got rules of where the light would go and how the light would reflect, but that's why I sort of leave my cloudscapes as less realistic. I haven't sort of learned how to paint clouds traditionally. I might eventually want to, but they would be sort of different paintings. They would be different devices, because my clouds are more almost an indication of what's going on around a person or what's going around inside a person, as a way of grounding them in this mental space, this emotional space. I used to hate the idea of backgrounds in paintings when I was young. I experimented with a whole bunch of painting on MDF where I actually physically cut out my figures so I could stick them straight on the gallery wall, and then the background became the gallery space, so you were in the same space as the model. But the downside of that is MDF is not archival and gets damaged super easily, and if anyone bought an MDF piece, it's not going to last. So it's still something I might play with in future, maybe with like the aluminium and getting it professionally cut out by someone with like a laser cutter. But for now, I really like how the cloudscapes sort of add to the figure, which is something, until then, all my backgrounds were like black or white and they didn't really add to the figure. They were just there, and all my uni professors were like, but why the black background? Why the void? And I'm like, I don't care about the background. That's not the point. Look at the figure. That's like the one thought that'll always haunt me from uni is, but why is the background this? They'd always ask me about the background and not ask me about the figure. And I'm like, can you not see that I want to talk about the figure? That's what I'm focused on. And this is part of why I really liked this photo, because I like drapery. Even though it's transparent, just all of the pretty little folds. For someone who paints a lot of nude people, I really like drapery. Which, again, seems contradictory, but the way drapery just moves and folds and everything is just beautiful. Hard part's not to overdoing it, I think. That seems way too bright. Blech. Sort of coming off of her head, folding here, and then going onto her hand. So it's all the same piece of fabric. Yeah. Oh, Kat, I missed that. What were you agreeing to? Is it annoying uni professors? Or drapery? I'm talking about too much too fast, and now I'm losing track. The drapery. Ah, nice. What colour was that again? Is that this section? I'm sort of mixing a couple of favourites. What am I mixing? I'm mixing you, and you mostly. So I've got Art Spectrum Sapphire is my dark one. I know it doesn't look dark from the tube, but that's because Art Spectrum's labels aren't always the most accurate. I'm using Vibrant Blue, which is the nice light blue I'm using in the highlights. And I'm using a lot of Michael Harding Thylacine Turquoise, because that one's intense. God, they're so much more intense in person. But yeah, these three and a bit of white and a bit of Naples Yellow Deep to sort of get that greeny tinge of the teal coming through. And that's how I'm sort of trying to make up this area. So that'll be the brightest area of blue in the whole piece. So I need to make sure it stays nice and intense. And that's the thing, when I do this style of painting with the high chroma, like you were asking before, Kylie, I start as high chroma as I can, like using the paint as straight out of the tube as I can, because I can always calm it down. Calming it down is so easy, and you can do it almost accidentally, and it's hard to get that chroma back once you've calmed it down. But if you start as intense as possible, then I sort of get that effect of having those high chroma areas. So yeah, I sort of overdo it. Like, you can tell this orange here, that's like way overdoing it, but I like it. And yes, it is pretty to look at. And I sit here going, oh, the tubes are so pretty. And that's why I get stuck in the art shop anytime they come out with a new vibrant tube. I'm like, oh, I can't afford it, but I want it. Yeah. Yeah, Michael Harding packs a punch. Like, so do their prices. They pack the punch. But the colours are so heavy pigmented colours. Like, they use... You can tell even from the weight of the tube, they use so much heckin' pigment in their paints. And because of that, you get these intense, vibrant colours that are just mind-blowing. Any brand like that, I just love, is not scared to go bright. Because some of the more traditional colours, like, or traditional brands, sorry, like Vasari and that, they always seem to calm everything down at least a little bit, and you're like, no, give me the brightest shit you can make. I feel like this needs to be really dark because it's dark behind, but it is transparent, so if it's transparent, it needs to be sort of halfway. Of course, this fabric is hella wrinkly, so I need to add all the wrinkles back in. Yeah, see, that's gone too dark now. Wait. I mentioned my favourite Batman villain is the Penguin, so every now and then I will go, wah, like the Penguin. Yes, Langridge is another one. They really focus on packing a punch with their pigments. I love their pinks. They're brilliant pink. He is a very orangey corally pink, but he's gorgeous. And then Quinacridone Magenta are two of the ones that I'm using in the hair and stuff. So, oh sorry, covering the label. I hate their labels though. I wish they would make better labels, because they're all like, we'll use paper labels because they're pretty. And I'm like, no, they fall off all the time. At least like the paint will stay on, so like when that comes off, I'll still have the paint on there, but like, I feel like I'm undressing my tube all the time. Stupid. I hate their labels. And labels are a thing that like make or break it. Like this one is a Winsor & Newton one, and its label just did not handle the paint tube squeezer at all. It's completely come off, and it was just like, it was peeling off the paint on its own tube. Like, can you see that at the bottom there? Oh, it's got silver coming through, like, I'm trying to show you. Can I show you on this one? All that silver flakage there. Yeah, so the paint even on the tube was dying with that one, so I'm not... I like Rembrandt labels. The Michael Harding labels haven't disappointed me so far. The Art Spectrum ones stay on good, but some of the colours aren't as true to how they are. Mostly because of the transparency. They sort of, all their colours are as though they were painted one thin layer over white. And ones like Sapphire. Sapphire's quite a dark colour actually, but that's because it's transparent, and when you have it in a blob, it's really dark, but when you paint one thin layer out, it's quite light. So it's just one of those ones you really got to look at the colour chart. But I've had a colour chart for them for years. It is somewhat covered in paint itself, but it still works. The first art shop I ever worked at, Art Spectrum was the only artist quality paint they sold. Yes, they break! Right? It's so frustrating. Like, I swear, even people who go through the tube faster, the label doesn't last. They just break. It's stupid. I know I'm whinging, but, you know, if I'm going to spend money on a tube, I just want it to handle the life that it's going to have. Yeah, see, that's a bit better. Now I can put those wrinkles back in. A little bit. And this is the sort of thing, like, once I've got all the darks and that in, I could even go back in once it's dry with some lights and add some sparkle, because it's like a slightly iridescent fabric, and I don't know whether I want to go iridescent with it or not. I definitely don't want to use an iridescent paint. I have used them before, and they're fun, but you really need to use them sort of everywhere, or just the tiniest little bit in a highlight, because if you use them just in blobs, those blobs stand out and sort of draw attention away from the rest of it. You sort of lose that 3D illusion of realist painting. So I've learnt to be careful with them. I'm pretty much using straight Michael Harding at the moment just to go back into these dark areas and get those transitions in. Yeah, they're expensive to be faulty, and I know no paint maker is going to go, a label coming off isn't a fault, because the paint itself is the product, but I'm like, it's still part of the product, and honestly, if all my labels fell off at once, how the heck would I know what paint was in each tube? It's an essential part of the product. And you'd think in today's day and age they would have figured out sticker technology. Yeah, I think Langridge used plain paper just because they want it to feel like handmade and sort of more like traditional or something, but I think the paper just doesn't quite hold on right. They need better glue or something. I don't know. Better glue 2021. This is going okay. Maybe we'll just have a fabric day today. See how much fabric we can get through. This is how I always feel when you're sort of coming out of the ugly stage of a painting, is anything that looks half decent, you're like, yes, this is the winner, this is the best part, this is the only part of the painting I like. But that's simply because so much of it is in the ugly stage. Or being all blobby. I find it very hard not to judge my painting every 2 seconds, even though I know I shouldn't, because the painting's going to change so much. I still feel judgy. Oh, thank you, Kat. Thank you. I'm really hoping I can enter this one. If I can finish it by the end of the month, there's a competition here in Australia which has the theme of just beauty. It's really vague, which I love, because that's what a nice vague theme. You can enter just about anything. So I'd really like to enter this one in that competition. And then that would be my third competition I've entered in a month, which would be amazing. I had a painting appointment with a sitter from Sydney fall through because we went into lockdown and then Sydney went into lockdown for a competition in August. So I've sort of been trying to find other things I can enter to make up for the disappointment of that, because that was sort of going to be my big painting this year, my biggest work. And I was very excited about it, and now I'm salty about it. And like, the sitter still wants to work with me, which is great, and I still want to work with them. It's just, that'll be something for next year, I think. Or if I can get it started by the end of this year, it'll be 4 things next year. Melody, you can paint better than my ugly stage. I've seen your work. My ugly stage is just blobs. As you can see. The blobs. Like, her face is a T at the moment. It will get better though. That's why I need to not be so judgy, because I know it's going to get better. I've just got to calm my farm. I'm going to get my mahl stick so I can lean on something. One stick. Where'd I put it? Oh. Mahl stick. Have you guys all seen my golf club? This is my mahl stick I use so I don't lean in my own paint. He just hooks onto the top of the canvas. And then I can just hold the bottom and lean. And get all those nice little edges at the top. Yeah. I actually wanted a walking stick when I went to go find this, and they didn't have any walking sticks at the op shop, which, you know, I would have thought they would have, but I was wrong. And then I'm gonna get some blue tack and blue tack on my reference photo. Where is my blue tack? I think it's on my other easel. Yeah. Oh wait, I got washi tape. Washi tape. Washi tape. Just because if I'm holding the miles stick, I don't want to hold the reference photo as well. And you end up holding so many things. This is why I don't hold my palette. I always need to hold like 47 things. Future life, I would like to be some kind of octopus who can paint. So that I can hold things in all my different tentacles. Oh, so at the top it's very golden. Actually gone a bit high with the blue there, so that's all going to have to be hair. So let me just grab my other brush. The problem, I always feel like my drawing's great, and then when I get to the nitty gritty, it's like, nope, you got all of this wrong. So that's all going to be hair. And the fabric doesn't reappear until about there, where it's pretty much yellow. I'm just going to put that spot in as a marker. Does that look right? A little bit higher. There. So there I know where my fabric's going to come back. Okay. Yeah. Bye-bye! Welcome back. I've gotten stuck into doing transparent fabric and talking about how some paint tube companies have really terrible labels, and it grinds my gears. I'm having a bit of a whingy day. Just little things. What's something at work that grinds your gears, everyone? When I'm not streaming and working, do I use a mirror or photos to check my work? Yes, absolutely. And that's what I try and make sure every time I come into the studio, I stand as far away from my work as possible. So when I see it first, I'm far away. I also take photos and I do the flippy thing. So we can do that if we like. With my phone. I do a lot of that kind of stuff. I did it more in the section before this part of the painting, like when I was establishing the drawing. So that's my photo of it, and then I like to do a bit of a flip and see if anything stands out to me. And as I go through and start refining the face, I'll do that more, because the face is the part that matters the most for that. When I'm doing the fabric and stuff, if it's slightly different from the reference photo, no one's going to care. No one's going to care at all. But with the face, it's noticeable. Like, even people who aren't painters and things like that, they can still look at a painting and go, something's a bit off. So just do the little lippity. There we go. And then have a look at it that way. So like that, the eyes are pretty much lining up. If anything, I think this eye needs to come up a little bit. So it'll have a lot more shadows up here, and that'll give it more of an angle. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with how the fabric's looking. It definitely looks like it's coming off of her head and folding around a bit, so I think we're on the right track. Yeah. I also am lucky enough in this studio that I've got a mirror wardrobe to my right, so the built-in storage for this bedroom is a giant mirror. And although I've covered half of it with... I can show you quickly, one sec. I've covered it with my to-do lists. And I've covered the bottom with boards because the puppy kept getting distracted. I can look into that second pane and see a reflection of my painting. And that's really helpful to sort of figure out where I am, where I'm going, all that sort of stuff. Hey Jess, how are you? Welcome to the studio. We're just chatting through, this is the big one I'm working on, and I'm working on the fabric today, which is transparent fabric, because I like to make life hard for myself. Yeah. How is your morning going? I've got 2 Jesses in the chat now. My partner constantly tells me I know too many Jesses, and I think there's no such thing. Jesses are awesome people. Yeah, no, flipping is great because it's just, it really refreshes your eyes and it really makes you see things that are obvious that you can't see because you've been staring at the work for so long. Most of the time it's whether your eyes work, whether your nose works, and whether your mouth works, like those sort of main features. And because humans stare at faces so much, they're the things that we really notice when they're off. So yeah, that works out quite well. Yeah. Study time, no worries. Good luck with the study. I'm sure you'll do awesome. Put on some good music or something that's not distracting. Yeah. And if that's me, thank you. But not a worry if you can't stick around to chat. For the record, I'm totally okay if anyone wants to just lurk, because I just love people coming in and saying hi. That's always nice. I'm just mixing up a dark again, because this is just constantly dark light, dark light, dark light until you get the right mix. I'm trying to really focus on just this one little area to see how refined I can get it, and then that'll give me sort of a battle plan for the rest of it. Okay. Yeah. And that's basically what the mirror does when we were talking about the flipping on the phone. That's basically what the mirror does, but for some reason having it in the little small scale and it's not sort of moving around as I move, I find that easier to see. I think it's because it flattens the piece on the phone. Whenever you take a photo, it sort of flattens everything a little bit, and that makes it easier to see mistakes and changes and things like that. Yeah. Because ultimately, this is a flat painting. You just get tricked into thinking it's 3D. We're just tricksters, us artists, making things look like things. Most of the time I have... Sorry, the question was, do I have work on one painting at a time or several at once? Most of the time I work on several at once, but I just finished 3. So this is my number 4. So I need to start some more pieces after I get a good session in on this one, I think. I do have a group show coming up in August, so I need to do some pieces for that, so that'll be the next thing. And I did consider today whether we wanted to sort of workshop creating new pieces, but a lot of the time that involves going through my reference photography, and I feel weird putting the reference on stream when I haven't checked with the models to see if they're okay with me showing their reference. So I think I won't be doing that on stream per se, but I can talk about my process once I decide what I'm doing, for sure. Because yeah, I think for this one I want to do 2 works on paper and 2 works on metal, just to have some variety and sort of, yeah, have some smaller works available. I really like this gallery. They've sold a bunch of my work. It's Off the Curb Gallery in Collingwood. Absolutely amazing space, and the curator is amazing. When you find a really good curator who just talks straight with you, they're worth their weight in gold. Although Sheeny's worth more than that because she's a tiny person, and she's worth more than that. She's worth my weight in gold. So much bigger than she is. But yeah, either way, that will be sort of my next move. So yeah, while I'm painting this piece, I definitely will end up with probably 3 or 4 more on the go. But I just happen to be in this weird position at the moment where this is the only one on the easel. I've got 2 easels, and I tend to always have something on each of them. My other easel is kind of broken, but it's fine. I tend to do smaller pieces on that easel because, yeah, the shelf is really janky and it goes back and forth, and the bottom part of the shelf is snapped off, so I can't store things on the shelf because it snapped. And I've bored holes in all the wood in the stick, so I can't put the holder on a lot of places, so he's a bit special. But that was my first standing easel. So, well, my first proper standing easel. My parents bought me an easel when I was a kid because they saw it, and I'm like, yeah, that'd be great. And it turns out it was a display easel. And display easels are not designed to paint on because they don't grip very hard, and they've just got flat edges, so they're great for like putting a piece on just to sit in the corner of the gallery. But they're not great to paint on because when you start pushing and moving the painting around while you're sort of painting on it, it always wants to fall off. It just wants to tilt and fall off, and that was my experience with it. So I didn't use that easel a lot when I was a kid, even though my parents got it for me, and I feel eternally bad for it. But yeah, you live and you learn. The meaning was good, and the intention was good. So that was all lovely. How do I go about finding the right gallery for me? For me, it's been apply for every group show open call and see how they go. So I've put a lot of money and time into being in random group shows when people have open calls. So a lot of the galleries I've worked with, they've sort of done a artwork still life show or a portrait show or a theme of something show. And I've applied. I've gone in with a piece and gone, hi, I want to be in your show. I pay my entry fee. Thank you. I always try and go physically in for delivering the work and things like that, so I can meet the curator and talk to them and go, hi, yes, how many pieces do you think will be in this show? Oh, that's really cool. No worries. This is my first time showing with you guys. What do you think your audience will react to my piece, or things like that? And then, yeah, a lot of the time it's how I get on with the curator gives me more of an indication about whether I want to show with them again than necessarily whether I sell the work. Because whether I sell the work for me is more up to chance. It's whether that right person walks through the door, but it's also how much work the curator puts in. And I've sort of noticed with the galleries I have worked with, there is a correlation between the curators who know their clients, know their collectors, chat to you about it, tell you information about what their clients like, tell you feedback. Oh, I had this person in the gallery, they looked at your piece, they absolutely loved this and that about it. They just hated the frame or something like that. Like that sort of feedback. It's annoying because the person didn't like the frame, but fuck it. It's feedback, and I love a gallerist who will talk straight with me and give me things like that. So like, yeah, Off the Curb in Melbourne is one that I've had really good experiences with. And her gallery, like, it has a style for sure, and like most galleries do, and I've found my work sort of suits some gallery style better than others. I sort of have this crossover with like the young, hip, street art friendly sort of cool gallery styles, but some of those spaces have suited my work and some of those spaces haven't. And yeah, like the Stockroom Gallery is another one that I love, and I've worked with them a lot. And again, curator's a straight talker and nice and like happy to talk to me about the art world and what's going on from her perspective. And yeah, it makes me feel really comfortable that she's working hard to sell my work, as opposed to other spaces that are like, oh, you've entered your work in the show? Here, give me my entry fee. Okay, thanks. I'll tell you when to pick it up. And that's like the whole communication you get with them. They don't try and sell you work at all. And unfortunately, I've only been able to find this out through trying them all. So as much as that costs money, which is a pain, I've been doing that for like 10 years now. So I've found a few spaces that I really like. I'm definitely not a stable artist with anyone, which is that next level of gallery where you're, you know, tied to that gallery more exclusively. I would love to be in that position one day. That would be great, but it would have to be the right gallery, and it would have to be the right sort of agreement that makes me feel like my work's being well represented and is worth that exclusivity. Yeah. I think a lot of galleries are going away from that model now simply because of online sales and things like that, but who knows, we can still dream. Still dream. Is there an easel brand you recommend? Or particular function you recommend? I really like having shelves. Both of my easels are cheapy ones. So my other one was from the first art store I worked at, which was a cheapy art and craft store. And then this one was from Aldi, but they're both the same style. They're called a H-frame easel. I'll find you a picture, one sec. The main reason I recommend a H-frame is because it's really stable in terms of the base, so it's not going to sort of try and flip and move on you. And it also makes your artwork very stable because it's got supporting bars in the back in the sort of shape of a H. So where are we? That one. Now, I'm not endorsing this business, but that's a H-frame easel. So you can see how it's sort of, the base is a H and then the back is a H, and that's nice and sturdy. So in the case of my painting here, she's leaning on 3 separate bars at 3 separate points. So at no point do I press the board and it wants to flip off, which you'll find the ones that just have one pole down the middle, you've got to clamp them on really well, because if you touch the edges of your painting, sometimes they want to flip off. The other thing is, yeah, by having a nice stable H at the bottom, it's not gonna tilt, which I really like. So yeah, I think if anything, if I wanted another easel one day, I would just want the Mac Daddy. Which I shouldn't want because they're so expensive. But look at this easel. Look at this easel. Look at this guy. Oh, go away. Look at that Mac Daddy. You can have 2 paintings on there, you can have 1 giant painting on there, and that one's got a crank at the bottom as opposed to a ring pull, so you don't have to actually bear the weight of it going up and down, you just crank it up and down and it does it mechanically, which is so cool. So that's like when I'm 65 and I'm spending my money on stupid things, that's the 65-year-old Liz dream. But I don't need an easel that big, and quite frankly that easel wouldn't fit in this room. But they're fucking cool. I think that's the problem, any like computer nerd or streamer or things like that, you've always got those sort of like Mac Daddy top things that would be so cool. I know Bri's into mechanical keyboards at the moment, which I'm sort of like, how many keyboards do you need? But if that's the thing that excites you, it makes sense. Easels excite me. And the fact is, like, when I spend this much time with them, you want them to work well, and I just happen to treat my easels slightly roughly, and that's why both of mine are a little broken. This one I'm using isn't that broken, it's just, you know that little holder thing that goes on the top? I've threaded the screw, so it won't grip properly at the moment, but Dr. Fizz said he would help me and try and put a second screw in, so that way I can use that again. But this board's sort of heavy enough, it doesn't really need it. Like, I can sort of poke it and it doesn't really go anywhere. So that's good. Now, I've used too much light in this, so I'm just going to put some dark in. That's better. That's the problem. Once you start adding too much light, you really can't go lighter with it, so you need to just obliterate what you've already done and then paint back towards the line. A little bit. Yeah. The other thing with easels is I've actually inherited 2 or 3 tabletop easels, so I use those as well for smaller pieces. And I've got my main one, which is that Edge Pro Gear one that I absolutely love. It looks like a laptop. And that's probably the other one that I use the most. That one was, I won a big art prize back in 2018? No, 2017. Which was the Graham Hildebrand Fine Art Prize, and that's the biggest prize I've ever won, and that was, you know, 18 grand in the end, which was awesome! So I let myself splurge on one thing, and that was the Edge Pro Gear. easel because they are not cheap, but it was something I knew I was going to use a lot, and it was something, yeah, I figured this is the time to spend the money because it's money that's just landed in my lap, and the rest of it went straight into the art savings account. So I lived off that money for probably 2-3 years. I technically still have the account, I just can't tell now whether that's grant money or money I've put in since then. I have a feeling all the grant money's probably gone. Like all prize money, sorry. But that was a very, very, very exciting moment. To be able to sort of let loose a little bit and get something that I've been staring at in Instagram ads for like a year at that point. Like, it's designed as an outdoor easel, but I definitely use it more as a tabletop easel and a couch easel and I want to go over and paint at my friend's house easel. Oh, that's where you'll see it. All my oil toba videos, I paint on my Edge Pro gear for like all of those. Because yeah, for those small works it's great, and it's got an inbuilt glass palette and it's magnetic, so if you have a painting knife you can just snap that onto the side. It's great. I've got a box easel from Leonard Long. It's one of those ones with the 3 spindly legs that comes out, and it's for outdoor painting. I do, but I haven't used that one a lot because it is a little spindly and I don't want to break it. I also don't do that much outdoor painting, so I think I would use that if I needed to take my own easel to life drawing. But the main thing I inherited from Leonard Long was his painting desk, which is this one over here. This guy. And that's what all my tubes of paint are in. Hello. That's the problem if you inherit something. Like, I value that stuff so much, I don't want to damage and break things. And yeah, as I've been talking about with my other easels, I'm a little rough with my easels, and I don't want to be rough with that one. So it should be good. I do have, so the other easel I got when I was a kid was a tabletop easel, and it was basically exactly the same as the French box one that Leonard gave me, that I got from Leonard through the chain, but it didn't have the legs, so that's what the Leonard one has sort of replaced that one, so that I do have the leg option, which is great. Basically I've got a thing for like vintage wooden stuff, so now I have a whole lot of wooden easels around my house. It'd be a problem if I didn't love them, but I love them, so it's a ladder tick. Just sneaking down into the face because this one bit of fabric here needs to be more orange, so I need to see how orange the face needs to be by comparison. So we're just sneaking down a little bit. Pink, I mean quinacridone and magenta. Oh, that lid's broken as well. God damn it. There. Sometimes paint makers are really good. If you get a broken lid or two, you can send them a photo and they'll just mail you lids. So I might do that with Langridge and see if they send me a lid, because that would be great. Where do you find your inspirations? Who inspired this particular painting? This one, Joe, was actually the model in the picture is a friend of mine, and just when the last COVID lockdown finished, or like was enough that you were allowed to do modelling and photography, she got together with one of her friends who's a photographer and did this shoot independently. So I actually wasn't part of the shoot for this one, but at the end of the shoot, when they saw the photos, the model sent me a message and went, "Liz, you need to see this," because she knows my style and what I like, which is very emotively powerful painting, a very sort of light-filled, high chroma figures and, yeah, emotive moments. And she went, "You need to look at this." So I was blown away by what they made, and like, not all the shots are my style for sure. I ended up having a look through the whole contact sheet and offered to buy 3 reference photos off them. So I paid both the photographer and the model so that I could buy these 3 reference shots, and this is the first reference shot of that set of 3. And for me, this particular shot, it just showed this sort of internal moment that's really private and quiet, but in such a fiery, intense way. So all the colours in this, they're not quiet. They're yelling at you. But she's looking down, she's covered, she's sort of shrouding herself and really introspective. And I sort of like how it's that mix between loud and quiet. Sort of like, yeah, at the moment we're all going through emotions about lockdown continually happening again and again. And she sort of gives me this feeling of that harrowing, I don't know what's happening and I don't want to, you know, be loud about it and in people's faces about it, but at the same time I can't get away from it, and what do? There's no sort of solutions in this image, which I like. It's just sort of in the moment of thinking, and so I'm hoping that'll all come across when I get there. But yeah, I wanted some, as in sort of my way of reacting to the pandemic and all that sort of stuff, is originally I had a big period of grief and I did a painting for that, and then this is sort of that next feeling, I guess. Thank you. Thanks, Joe. That was a lovely question. Thank you for joining. Yeah. But that there is now nice and fiery, so now I need to make this fabric reflect that a little bit. I've got to be careful because I've got blues down and I'm trying to put oranges down, and if I push too hard they're just going to become a murky green mess. Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping this piece ends up being sort of a punch in the gut, which I often do, those sort of punch in the gut moments, but normally they're a bit more optimistic. This one's a bit less optimistic, unfortunately. My last piece was really optimistic. If anyone goes on my YouTube channel and has a look at the video for Liberation, that was my more recent piece. That was I felt good. We were in a place where I could sort of breathe, and it was a real sort of letting things go moment. Yeah. I think that's the thing, when I see images and when we craft images, if it really punches me in the gut and makes me feel a way, then that's something I love to translate into my paintings. So if the photo gets me halfway there, then I just use the painting to heighten everything. And that's why I end up using such bright colours and sort of intense emotion and things like that, because I want all those feelings to just be more. I want more all the time, more. And then, yeah, hopefully when it's finished, it's as punchy as possible. Makes my painting style sound very violent, but I don't think I'm a violent person. No worries, Kylie. Good luck at work. I hope it's all fun. And always happy to answer questions, you know me. And again, anyone can jump into the Discord, and there's an Ask Liz a Question section in our Discord channel. The Discord's in the description below. And let me know if there's any problems there, and I'll go jump back in there. Oh, hi, Austin! How are you? Oh, everyone needs to go check out Austin. Is another YouTube painter. He does amazing photorealistic landscapes and bodies in landscape. Absolutely stunning works. How are you? How's your day? I'm just working through the ugly stage of this one. So, very beginning stages, Austin. And I'm abandoning my plan to stick with fabric entirely, and I've started creeping into the face. Bad Liz. Said I was doing one tiny bit of skin, and now I've just migrated. Thank you. This one will probably still take me a month from where I'm at now, because she's a big girl, but we'll get there. And yes, intense colours. You know me, I like intense colours. We've been talking about intensity and things like that today on stream, which is nice. all these areas. I'm definitely going to go back in and make them more intense once this layer dries, but just need to know where they are at for now. I keep going with this fabric. Austin, I'm painting translucent fabric. What am I doing to myself? Oh, hi Nethercore! Oh, trying new things, go for it, absolutely. That's something I'm need to, in my videos, I think I want to break out of my bubble a little bit and do some more things that aren't oil necessarily. I was eyeing off my gouaches the other day, and I think I want to do a video of that, which would be fun. Yeah. It's weird. That's not working. That's all right. But yes, thank you for joining us, Nethercore. So we're working through, this is just the very starting stages of the new work. So you'll hopefully see a video down the track of the next stage of this. Yay! That sounds good. I'm meant to be working on the fabric. Let's go back to the fabric. That's what it goes from intense blue up here immediately to sort of this golden colour here. And I think that's the thing that will show that it's transparent quite a lot, is just the fact that it changes colour so easily depending on the light that's nearby. So this orange that I've just put in will inform this colour really well, as opposed to it just looking like multicoloured fabric. Yeah. There we go, and that's what the fingers here coming forward are, sort of that transition point between the two colours. So that will be interesting. That's probably way too orange. I will fix that. Yeah. What sort of work have you done before, Nethercore? You said continue painting, so you're already a painter. What's your style? This painting, this is probably the third session on this one so far, and each session can be anywhere from sort of 2 hours to 4 hours, so I'd say I'm at probably 10 hours so far, maybe a bit less, maybe more like 8 hours. Just because those first sessions of like doing the background of that are quite fast because that's all one layer. And then I think the face, yeah, I've done 2 layers on the face, so this would be a 3rd layer on the face. So yeah, it'll probably be a 20 to 30 hour painting altogether, would be my guess, depending on how much trouble this fabric gives me, because it's the first time I've done transparent fabric, and it's got so many little intricacies to it. Yeah, I think there'll be a bit of me going back and forth into the fabric in various layers to see what I need to do to get it being convincing, but for now I'm happy with the structure of it. Yeah, no, it's not a commission, Austin. This one, there's a painting competition at the end of the month here in Australia which has the theme of beauty, and that was a nice vague theme, so I'm like, I really want to enter that one. It's a bigger painting competition than the ones I normally enter, so this one's state-based ones, and normally I enter sort of more local ones. Yeah, so it would be exciting if I could enter this one. It's got a nice big prize attached to it and things like that, so I had a sitter fall through because of COVID restrictions for a different big art prize, so this is sort of my, if I can enter this one instead, it makes up for the other one that I couldn't enter, so that's my goals. Yeah, that would be, it would be nice. Do you enter many competitions and things, Austin? Because I know America has heaps of them. They have so many competitions. I get a lot of the Instagram advertising for them, but a lot of the time I'm dissuaded by the shipping charges. I do periodically step back. I'm sort of trying to get to a point with this one little area where I feel like it's pretty good, and then I'd probably step back. I find if I step back before I've sort of finished or achieved my goal of a little area, then it doesn't inform me as much. So I try and step back, you know, in the middle of my painting session, in the end of my painting session, probably 2 or 3 times a session. So not every 5 minutes. When I'm standing, I do tend to jump back and forward a lot faster, but that's just because I'm on my feet and I tend to rock back and forwards a bit and dance around to music and that sort of thing. So that's more natural then. Yeah. Yeah, occasionally you have. There are a lot to sort through, yeah. Oh, influx of commissions! Congratulations! I saw your beautiful ones of the hands with the bee. They were stunning. I love that commission. And it was so you. I think that's the best kind of a commission, is when someone comes to an artist and goes, this is something that is you. Can I have this version of you? Rather than going, can I have this other thing which has nothing to do with you, but you're a painter, so you paint it for me. It's, yeah. A spirit animal. That's nice. Oh, yeah, no, commissions are definitely, they can be great or they can be difficult, put it nicely. And it completely depends on each one individually. Which drives me nuts when I open for commissions. I never know what I'm going to get. I'm still closed for commissions at the moment because I just had too many plans of things I wanted to do. And I've got a commission at the moment that I should be working on, but I haven't been able to get together with the client. But when I get together with the client, we'll get that one sorted and then I'll get that started. Then I'll have like 5 paintings on the go. Exactly. Oh, I forgot to mention, today's stream is sponsored by the wonderful Senson from Twitch. Go follow her on Twitch, she's absolutely amazing. So you can donate anytime to sponsor a stream, and by sponsor a stream, I mean sponsor my caffeine needs, because I run on caffeine. I've had a good lot of caffeine this morning, and that is why I'm lively and chatty, and I would like to thank Senson for donating and sponsoring this stream, so thank you. Yeah, no, the Ko-fi account's just been really nice to touch base with you guys, and thank you for supporting me there. I really appreciate it. I really, really do. Otherwise I would be all sleepy all the time. Yeah. Caffeine is life. It makes everything function, and without it, nothing functions. Most things don't. Yeah. I like all the forms of caffeine pretty much except coffee, so I'm weird. I had an energy drink, I love tea, love chocolate, that counts, right? It's got caffeine in it. Coca-Cola sometimes. Oh, my sweet spot. Normally my sweet spot isn't sort of quantity, it's more types of work. If I've got little things that are sort of just for fun, or very close to just for fun, like doodling art, sort of sketching art, and I've got something that's sort of medium, like might take 2 sessions, but you know, gives me something more finished, and then something big on the go at once, that's my like sweet spot, because that's where I can like follow the dopamine a bit, which is where, yeah, you can really walk into your studio and go, what do I feel like? What is going to make me the happiest today? And focus on that. And then when you lose attention span on that, you can switch to something else. I do often find follow the dopamine is my working style. Because yeah, if I just sort of try and force myself to do something that I'm really not interested in doing, that's when I sit there and pull my hair out and don't get anything done for a whole day and waste a whole day. Yeah, I do like doing a lot of painting wet in wet near the core, so that's where like I've already put in the dark colours and now I'm adding some light and then I'm sort of feathering them together a little bit to create those nice little transitions. I'm just struggling a bit up here where it's more yellow and then it's going into the more blue. That's the only part that's annoying me at the moment. But that might be that I need to do more yellow on a dry layer rather than on a wet layer, and allow that to sort of have its own wet in wet moments separate. Not sure. Because yeah, this whole area here had barely any paint on it when we started today. Had like one thin layer of sketchy blue lines and that was it. But I'm feeling like it's going more in the direction I want now. It's still not quite transparent fabric, but it's on its way. This little bit here is way too bright, so I need to calm him down. Yeah. I find it's a lot of like, yeah, trying to make the different tones play nicely together rather than being sitting separately next to each other. They've all got relationships to each other, and that's where I tend to sort of almost pick up paint from the board and move it around rather than only pick it up from my palette, which, yeah, I know it's not entirely academic painting, but it's how I enjoy. Oh, thank you. Anatomy is definitely what I've focused on for most of my painting life, so anatomy is my go-to, and that's because I've got a background in life drawing at the core. So like life drawing actually from the person standing in front of you is where I constantly go back to practice anatomy. I go to gym, except my gym is going to drawing gym, where I go draw a naked guy called Jim. No, where I go draw from life. Although if there was a life model called Jim, that'd be great. Drop my brush. Alright. So we've kind of got the fabric going in and then swooping around back to the finger. Now's the hard part. This finger is skin coloured underneath this fabric. So, you have to break this down into chunks, I think. Or just paint the finger and then paint the fabric over the top. No, let's do chunks. Chunks. Go. This fabric is actually a bit iridescent. It's really messing with the light quite a lot. Yeah, painting gym, because that's what I think a lot of people use sketchbooking as painting gym, which is where they sort of sit down and just try and draw something in the sketchbook and like focus on it. So it's like practice, and I think, yeah, most artists or all artists or people who are still sort of learning, which I think is everyone, but some people think it's not, so whatever. Either way, I think practice is important even when you're more professional, to still put that time into development, not just doing the thing. And it's a way to play. Like my last life drawing video I put up, last week or the week before, I changed the method in how I'm painting almost every painting, because I'm just messing with ideas, and then when one idea doesn't work, I'm like, cool, next idea. I want to do something else. And that's something that you can't do with, 30, 40 hour paintings, because that's like, it's not enough feedback fast enough on whether something's working. Yeah, and that's what, if you are in a rut, I think that is proof that you haven't been practicing developing and you haven't been playing with ideas. I think that's how you get in a rut, is you focus so much on finished things and then you get to a point where you're sort of stuck, and that stuck comes from lack of play and lack of developmental practice. So I don't think it's sort of, yeah, that's something to do to get out of it necessarily. That's proof that you haven't been doing it. Kind of like when you get winded going up a hill. That's proof that you haven't been going to the gym. I have not been going to the gym, but I walk the dog every day. So that is my gym at the moment. I should go back to the gym though. I can't afford it at the moment. Everything's so expensive. You recently began an atmospheric painting for someone, and it took a long time to get the clouds right. Oh, I'm so glad the tutorial helped. Yay! Because yeah, atmospheric clouds, they can sort of be so many different things. And with clouds, there's a lot of like, there's no right or wrongs, there's just keep goings. But that's awesome. I'm so glad that that helped you. And yeah, I'm terrible at filling my sketchbooks. I do like a couple of sketches in each sketchbook and then I buy a new sketchbook. It's a terrible habit. Do not recommend. But I did sketchbooking here on stream last week, actually. I can show you. I pretty much finished that page. Where are we? Oh, that's my sketchbook page. So we did sort of, one stream was this bit, another stream was this bit, and then I did these guys at a friend's house the other day. So I could probably fit one more thing in the corner, but this is all just play. It's colour and it's play and it's random things you guys suggested in chat and it's fun. So I definitely think there will be more sketchbook streams in future, as well as, yeah. I'm thinking I might try and convince someone to come and do live sitting for me, because then I could do like life drawing in person and chat through my process. I think that would be really fun. The hard part is the setup, because right now I've got a wall behind me and that's where I'd need the person to be. So we'd probably have to set up some different way, which I'm not quite sure how that would be, but some sort of different way. We'll figure that out later. That's for future Liz to worry about. Just realised my fabric got too big, so I'm just cutting back into it with a bit of dark red and dark blue. Be sort of sharp going into that transition. There we go. That's better. Down, and then that should all be dark as well. That's better. Yeah. Released you into getting it right. Yay! Yeah, right? I think life drawing on stream would be really fun. Like, maybe not nude. Maybe we'd do like drapery or something like that, or just like upper body, like torso. Because torso, I don't need to sit as far away from the person, because the main reason you have space with life drawing is so that you can see the full figure from where you're standing really easily. Yeah, and I don't think that's capable in this little bedroom, unfortunately, next to my computer. So I do need to investigate. I think I can live stream from my phone as well, which means we wouldn't have the face cam, but I still think that would be okay. And it would just mean that, yeah, then I could set up my phone somewhere that isn't my computer. Although then I'd probably need to still be able to see my computer or something so I could see the chat. No worries, Nethercore. Thanks for asking questions. Love questions. I'm chatty. Alright, so this top finger here stays pretty dark the whole way through. And the next finger gets some light on it. Now keep in mind, these fingers are under fabric. I'm just sort of trying to get the anatomy down first before I start doing the fabric folds over the top. Yeah, thank you. And thank you again for subscribing, Nethercore. I really appreciate it. I'm getting to almost halfway on my goals to get monetized, so one of my goals. I would absolutely love to get monetized on YouTube by the end of the year. We've got enough subscribers, which is great, so I'm very, very thankful to all my subscribers, but I need higher watch time to get there, which is my big goal. Does doing live streaming while painting help engage your mind or distract you from the process? I think it just helps me feel less lonely, honestly. Having you guys to chat to is great. And that was something when we lived regionally, we lived out in the country for a year, I definitely notice I do suffer from loneliness if I'm just working at home every single day by myself. And it's sort of like my partner works reasonably long hours and he doesn't always want me sort of exploding in his face chatting every second he comes home. Sometimes he wants to come home and relax, which is completely fine. And yeah, I definitely find if I can live stream, like I've only been doing this for about a month, haven't I? I've done maybe 4 or 5 live streams. But chatting to you guys, yeah, 1 day a week is absolutely lovely, and it gets me thinking about stuff that I don't always think about, and the questions really, yeah, engage me a bit. In terms of the painting, I probably wouldn't do like the very last stage of a painting on live stream when you're doing that really in-depth analysis where you're really studying and finding those last bits that you need to do, because I think that might be a bit distracting, but for this sort of stuff and for fun style painting, it's great. So, I really enjoy it. And yeah, it helps me get closer to my goal of being monetized, because the more time I spend with you guys, the more time you spend with me, gets me closer to the watch time requirements, which is lovely. For anyone who doesn't know, monetize just means I'll get to a point where mainly my videos, less so than my streams, will play an ad at the start and I get a kickback from that ad, so that'll help support me as an artist. Yeah, no, it helps heaps, Joe. Thank you. Heaps. Yeah, so the more and more reading I do on sort of ways different artists make money and sort of sustain themselves and things like that, it's having multiple streams of income and passive streams of income, like YouTube advertising, where it just sort of happens in the background and like you still make your content like you normally would, but videos you made 2 years ago can serve an ad and you get a kickback from that, is a way to continually sort of be able to build income in the background, and it's not always just of active work. So if you only sell original artworks, then you are pressured to continually make original artworks and sell them. But if I can have things for sale, have things like YouTube ads serving up, maybe one day merch or something like that, items that people would like on the side, or maybe prints, so I could do editions rather than just original artworks. I've done 1 print so far, which is a metal print of my painting After Anguish release, and I think I've got 2 left on my website of an edition 15. So things like that where I can build up multiple streams just all help me have an income as a full-time artist, which I've been full-time since, when did I start this year? May. And like, this isn't my first time being a full-time artist, but this is my current attempt, because I tend to do it for a while and then go back to a job, and then full-time artist for a while and then go back to a job. And I think that's okay. It gives me some balance, and sometimes it's like, in the case of 2018, I did my solo show, and then after that I went back to a job because I was a bit exhausted of painting after doing a whole show. And like, that show was in October, so then that was prime time to get back into retail because it was Christmas season, so there's always jobs, which is great. I've got them retail art skills. I like all those little folds, they're fun. Yeah. But I'm enjoying being full-time art at the moment. I've found my rhythm sort of just at the end of June, or mid-June, coming into July, so I'm getting a good 4 to 5 days painting a week. I should say painting or art making, because sometimes it's not painting, sometimes it's YouTube video making or drawing, or I have picked up a couple of little graphic design jobs as well, which is just people who need things. So I'm not really advertising as a graphic designer, but if it's someone who's desperate and they're a friend, I'm easy to say yes to sometimes. Or rather, I'm the one who says yes too easily sometimes, but that's okay. I just need a... One of them said no time limit, and I think I've taken too much time to do it, so I really need to get that one done. One thing I'm noticing is my folds don't all have the highlights like they need. Like this area down here needs to be really bright compared to this area. It needs to be as bright as this area. So this area and this area need to be the same. And then this area in the middle needs to be darker. So things like that are, now that I've got the majority of the anatomy of the folds, lanky words, most of the actual forms in, now I can play with making sure my values are correct, my lights and darks. Slowly getting there. I'm liking this finger. It looks like kind of a ghost finger, which I think is the gist for a transparent fabric, is I want ghost fingers. But we shall see. It's sort of there, but it's sort of not as well. I don't know. Just talking wank now. I'm not sure. How long have we been streaming for? An hour 30, that's not bad. I might very quickly dash off to the loo, and I will be right back. Has everyone gotten up and stretched in the last hour and a half? Has everyone gone and got a cup of tea? Now's the time. Alright, be right back. And we're back. Did everyone get up and have a stretch? Oh, you did, Joe. Good work. No worries, Melody. Have a lovely night. I'll put a picture in the Discord at the end of the session so we can see where we're at. You have a good night. See you later. Oh. Feeling cold now after getting up. I was all nice and warm before. Now I'm chilly. Yeah. You simply moved positions. That kind of counts. Kind of counts. You moved. Movement was the goal. I am not the best at remembering to get up and stretch all the time, but... I did switch out the dog bed though, so we had a little dog bed for Dipper. This will make sense in a second. It was like a little box one with the walls. And she never slept in it. She didn't want to sleep in it. She slept in it maybe 5 times. She slept next to it a lot, but she didn't want to sleep in it. So she kind of outgrew it anyway. So I gave that to my mum for my childhood sister's dog, Molly, who is a senile old lady and likes comfy things. So she is going to upgrade her current bed to that bed. And then instead we had some trundle beds, you know, those beds that sort of fold up and they've got like the sponge mattress, the foam mattress. We had 2 of those and I wanted to chuck them out because I haven't been able to sell them on Facebook Marketplace and we're doing hard rubbish anyway. So chucked out the frames, which are a bit janky and old and broken. And then we kept the foam spongy thing and I have that on the floor now. So I've got one single adult size spongy thing. Jess, good, doing stretches, yes. You win a point. Gold star from me. That's yours. But yeah, now that I've got this adult single sized foam on the floor, I can do yoga on it. And yesterday I did a little bit of that, so that was nice. So I need to... I think if I can do a yoga session when she's sleepy, that would be really good. It's the first time I tried to do a stretch session outside in the sun with the dog. She was on top of my chest in 3 seconds and bugged me the entire time with wanting pats and wanting to cuddle because I was near the ground. So that didn't work at all. Let's see, finger joint 1, finger joint 2, finger joint 3. And fingers are a bit long. I think my hand's a bit too long. Let me just do some measuring quickly. Yeah, I think it's meant to end more like here. Yeah, she's a very cute dog, but when you're trying to do stretches, she is not the best coach. Yeah, so that's where I'm going to end my hand now. Bring the fabric into about there. We just stretched out a little bit too fast. Now it's 1 finger joint, 2 finger joint, 3 finger joint. That's better. So weird looking at the fabric because it's very visibly 3 dimensions in the photo. Gotta flatten it to 2 dimensions. I know that's kind of obvious because that's the whole painting process, but it's particularly wrinkling my brain right now. Way to describe it? It's being brain wrinkly. Another measuring point, so I'm just going to quickly highlight this bit. That's another measuring point I can measure from the edge of the fabric near the corner of her mouth. Now she got a little dimple next to her lips. Yeah. Which isn't actually that robust, but you know, enjoy it so it can stay there pretty much for now. I love little features like that. Love them. Anyone with like killer hardcore dimples, love it. Your dimples are amazing and should be treasured forever. I remember in primary school some of my friends hated their dimples and I'm like, no. They're cute and adorable and fun and interesting. I will not hear a bad word said about dimples. That's where I've gotten my measurements wrong. This finger's meant to stop about here. I only just noticed it stops halfway through the dark section. Whee! Okay, I'm gonna have to fix that. This is the point in the painting, to fix this sort of stuff. Because it's all pretty easy to move, as much as it's annoying because you thought you had it right. It is annoying because I did think I had it right. But that's okay. One finger joint, two finger joint, three finger joint. That's much better. I had it way too long. It's okay. Anything out a little bit. That's better. Fiddly things. I'm doing all the little fiddly things today. Granted, this whole painting's going to be like that because of this fabric and because she's actually wearing white mascara on her eyelashes, which I'll admit I'm also intimidated by. I've bitten off a lot to chew in this painting. The white mascara is chunky and intense, but it's part of what brings you into the eyes. So, and she's wearing contacts as well, which she's probably not going to look like she's wearing contacts as much in my painting because I'll feather the edges and things. You won't have that artificial sharp line, but the white mascara will be interesting to tackle when we get there. That's like second last step though. That's going to be right near the end. That's why I think watching people paint eyes is so satisfying, because you got to leave the eyelashes right till the end. Everything sort of comes together when you add those final bits. And it's so satisfying to watch. Thinking about that for two of my smaller works is for this upcoming show in August, maybe do some eye paintings, because I really like eye paintings. With so little, you can tell a lot. And with all of us wearing masks, we have been communicating with our eyes lately. Although I watched a cool video on Auslan the other day where it's like, I'm smiling. So it's one that you can say when you're talking to someone hard of hearing or deaf and wearing a mask. I don't remember how to do Can I Help You though, and that's the one I really need to learn for when I'm in the shop. Not that I'm in the shop at the moment, but that was always the one. It's like around something. No, thank you. Thank you's a good one. Auslan's just one of those things I would really like to sit down and learn, but I need the person strapping me to the chair going, this is class time, you learn now. How much do we all need that? We just need someone to go, this is the time you're doing this, sit down, do it now. Do the thing. I need a school teacher for my everyday life. bit here is almost too dark for this section, so I'm just going in again with my bright, straight from the tube colours. Okay. All the transitions are so subtle. I might even just glaze over the top with a bright blue once this is dry, and that'll just make it all come together a little bit. Yeah, it's better. Yeah, that's better. That looks more gentle. You need someone to tell you when to go to bed. That's what your husband's for? Good. If he does a good job of it, that's good. My husband is good at the let's stay up and watch another episode. We're just one episode kind of people. Yes, Kara does. She should. Yes. Let's do class. I'll provide food. Some food. We could bake something. No, Kiara would want to bake. But yes, that would be awesome if Kiara wanted to. I would commission her to teach me how to sign a little bit. My hard part is just remembering. I've got a terrible memory for that kind of thing. But I liked how the smile one was like, I'm smiling. It's literally like making a little smiley face on your face. Did I paint myself then? No, I didn't. Good. I'm normally pretty good at not painting myself, but I'm having fun talking, so... Oh, that's much more subtle in there now. That's good. That's good. Okay, I think that's the thing. I need to go hard with the shadows and then gradually make them more subtle. Which is kind of what I was talking about before, but I wasn't doing it. Now that I'm doing it, I'm like, yes, genius. That's the thing. Because now it's got lots of little wrinkles in there. Yeah. Wrinkly fabric. No ironing. This is where you see old masters paintings and the ones who paint like satin with all those tiny little wrinkles in it where it catches the light. You're like, they're the ones putting effort in to fabric. The ones who do just like one big plain flat gown, you're like, nah, that's not effort. Wrinkly satin paintings are just almost a whole genre unto themselves. Whole 18th to 19th century section. And all the satin always looks so nice and glowy. It's like you don't even really care what the person in the painting is doing because you're just looking at the fabric of their dress. So pretty. See, now this section's too blue because I'm trying to do the fabric and I've lost the finger underneath. This is a lot of back and forth. I think I want to make that angle at the top a bit sharper. This bit. Fabric's going from one finger to the other. More tauntly. Tauntly? Is that a word? No, that's not a word. The fabric is more taut between the two fingers. Hopefully that's taut. God, anyone learning English, taunt is a terrible word to learn. If I say it in my head, the more wrong it sounds. Taunt. Taunt. I don't know. In a lot of ways, I am very glad English is my first language because I've seen some of the memes of people learning English and words that don't make sense, like brew and bow and things like that, all pronounced differently, and I'm just like, yeah, you're right, it's a hell language and it's hell to learn and you all deserve all the applause for learning it as a second language. Blech. Then you got English, British English versus US English versus Australian English, which is a weird bastardization of British English. And all the in-between. I always get caught out by YouTube because it always wants to autocorrect all my British English words like colour with a U in it, to the American version with colour without a U in it. And part of being a YouTuber is trying to put in the most likely for people to click words, so should I spell colour the American way because there's more Americans on YouTube or not? And I'm just like, oh god, there's a whole hole of thought there. I don't know what to do. I don't ever know what to do. I'm a painter, I'm not a wordsmith. Okay, stop fiddling with the bit you like. That bit. This is something I do all the time. You get too in love with one section. Oh, now's when I should stand back, because now the area is mostly finished. Okay. Standing back. Going over here. Okay, ignore my pajama pants. Oh, now you can see this is the dog mattress that I'm standing on. It's squishy. Yeah, I do like that. I think that's sitting how I want it to sit. I can zoom you guys out a bit. That look more convincing. As fabric, I think that's on the right track. I like that the colours are a bit more green than the background. The background's a lot more blue. What quote about the English language? I'm intrigued. We don't just borrow words. On occasion, English has pursued other languages down alleyways to beat them unconscious and rifle their pockets for new vocabulary. James D. Nichol. I like that. English does seem like a horrible alleyway robber. And then, of course, yeah, claim them as their own words. This vocabulary was always English. Australians are terrible at claiming stuff like that. I like it, Joe. Thank you so much for contributing that one. That one's a good one. I'll have to put that in my journal later. Actually, give me 1 sec. Got a little notebook here sitting now, so I know to write stuff down. Like I should watch The Amazing World of Gumball, because we were talking about cartoons, and I'd run out of cartoons to watch. Yay. Alright, I think I'm going to continue down the hand. Let's keep going with this sort of bit, so I don't distract myself with the whole head. As much as I sort of want to get into the skin now because I'm feeling good. I've been painting for a little while. Let's keep going with the hand because that's the harder bit and that's the bit I'm intimidated by. And if I know me, I do sometimes, I run away from the bits that I'm intimidated by and then hate myself later for it. So often that's when I'll be all like, oh, the painting needs to dry, and it's because I'm up to a section. New House airing now! 4 episodes! Yes. Is it on Disney Plus yet though, or is it only for download? Joe? Because I checked Disney Plus the other day and they didn't have season 2. I will find it. I will. Because that's one, yeah, Dr. Fizz is really into as well, so we've been watching it together. I love it. It's so cute. Although apparently Tumblr is shipping characters like no tomorrow, which I'm not surprised by. No? I haven't seen them on Disney Plus yet. Not on Disney Plus in Australia. What is with that? Okay, so they're out in America. Well, that means that piracy is an option. Which, if you don't make your stuff available, guess what people are going to do? And there's no reason, if it's available in the US, that it shouldn't be available on the Australian Disney Plus, which we pay for. That is Tumblr's specialty. And there's definitely some parts in Owl House that you're like, ooh, this character and that character. So yeah, I could see Tumblr having a world of fun with that. Oh, I should log on just to have a gander. Alright, so I'm going to start with just the fingertips, so I might zoom you back in again. Oh, wrong way. Cool. So I need warm underneath the finger. And I need yellow. Then I need pressure at the tip. Then I need warm again. Then I need dark blue. Then I need light blue. I need a smaller brush, that's what I need. We're gonna do that many changes in one tiny area. Raise the flag, Joe, yes! Is the time. And they can't blame anyone but themselves when they own things and refuse to distribute. In the international world, there's no reason different countries should have different release dates. That's just silly. But thank you for telling me 4 episodes is awesome. I knew at least some were out, because one of my mates who is a pirate had them, but I forgot to take a hard drive over to their house the other day. I need to put a USB in my wallet again. That used to be my go-to, that I'd always have a USB on me. And I took them out. Oh, I took them out when I went to New Zealand. That's what I did. Then I haven't put them back. Airing weekly. Ugh, who airs things weekly nowadays? Speak. It's like I'm not gonna watch 12 episodes if you give me 12 episodes. We've been rewatching Brooklyn Nine-Nine from the start lately. They were all so tiny in season 1. Between faulty paint tubes, hard to find pixels, and hidden television content, the world is madness. I agree, Kat. It's just, what is going on? Illogical everything. Illogical everything. Sorry, it has been a bit of a whingy stream, hasn't it? Maybe I'm just in a whingy mood. My bad. Alright, so I need that ball of the finger to stay nice and bright so it looks like the fabric's causing tension over her finger. Which we should be able to do, but saying it out loud so I don't forget. Which I think these streams are good as well. I feel like you guys give me accountability for actually sitting here and doing the job consistently. Because sometimes I do get stuck in a YouTube hole and then don't paint as much as I set out to paint and things like that. Depends on the day, depends on how much dopamine I'm getting from what I'm doing. Today is a good dopamine day. I know that looks funny that the shadow comes in under the finger, but that's how it does in the reference, so I'll leave it for now, and if it bugs me later, I can always paint it out. That'll be a thing. Often if it's the choice between what I think and what the reference shows, I'll start with what the reference shows, and then I'll change it later if it bugs or if it distracts from the image. Because that's ultimately the thing, is if you've got an intention, like I do, that I want the eyes to go from the fabric up to the eyes of the face, so I want it to sort of travel like that. If the reference shows it in a way that's going against my intention, that's when I use my artist license that's in my wallet to change it so everything works to my intention as an artist. So that's where people say don't be a slave to the reference, is if something's working against your cause in the reference, you don't have to paint it, you can change it. I do like wielding my license now and then. Get to feel powerful, you are the creator. I am also conscious of that though, when you're using models that you know, you need to be a bit sensitive to changes and things like that. I know a plus size model who once was painted so slim it was like she'd been photoshopped but in a painting, And how hard is that if you're suddenly seeing yourself in someone's work and it's not you, and you're just like, really? That's sort of, why did you bother using me as a reference when it's not me? But I don't know. Some models would love that, some models would hate that. It's just something you've got to be sensitive to people, I think. And this one, because it is a model that I know, a big part of it for me is making sure she looks like her. I'm going to focus on the likeness a lot for this because she's where the emotion came from. That's what, them doing this photo shoot together, her and the photographer, a lot of it came down to her creating this mood, and so I think her face needs to own that in my piece of it. God, I'm going to be spending so long on each individual finger. I already am. That's okay. If we get the effect we're looking for, then it's worth it. Smaller brush is helping a lot, but it does mean I'm going back into nitty-gritty of other things too. I can be more detailed now. Yeah, it's too much editing if you change the person's essence, I think, in a reference. Like, it's different if you're, like, a cartoonist or something and you're making a real-life person match a style or something like that. I think that's fine, and that definitely has a degree of, like, what do they call it? Caricaturism, where you can sort of mess with people's proportions and things like that, but realistic painting, I don't think that's appropriate. And yeah, if you don't want to use a plus-size reference, don't use a plus-size reference in that case. Completely right, Joe. Yeah. It's... the intention there was askew. And the fact, like, you never want a model to be disappointed in seeing your work. Like, that's... I care about what the model thinks, personally. I know some artists don't, because they're just like, the model's just a tool in the process, but I care. Probably too much, but oh well. I'd rather care too much than not enough. Need a tiny bit of dark blue separating that from there. See, I think human models are not bowls of fruit, especially when I'm asking them to be vulnerable and emotional with me. I don't think they're just tools, but depends on the artist you speak to. Even fashion designers and things like that have been accused of dehumanizing their models. And I think that's rude. Because clothes look different on every person, so the human does really matter. Excuse me. That's the same thing. If I painted this painting and it was a different person, it would come out differently. Even if it had the same intention, the same setup, the same lighting, everything. If it was a different person, it would come out differently regardless. So that's why I need it to be respectful to the model. So it's respectful to that moment, which grabbed me as an artist. Where I was like, ooh, I want to paint that. Which admittedly, I do get that feeling a lot, but I don't think that's a bad thing. That, ooh, I want to paint that feeling. I had a penny for every, ooh, I want to paint that moment. I would be able to work full-time a lot faster. Not that we have pennies in Australia, but you know what I mean. Yeah. We're getting there. We're kind of getting there. That kind of looks transparent. A little bit. A little bit. Let's add a highlight after that shadow. hardest part here is because I've got a straight brush, it wants to leave a straight line, but I need it to be ever so slightly feathered so it looks like it's turning. So it's just the softest touch. And I could change brushes, but then it would be harder to get that line consistent, so that's why I'm persevering. We've had some really nice chats today, everyone. Thank you so much for asking questions and things. I always really appreciate it, but today has been really interesting chats. Which is nice. Alright, let's get more into the next finger before I get too bogged down in just this one. Rounded out that finger a little bit. Just need some gold. Stuffed it. Just thinking, after you said human models are not fruit, I haven't painted fruit in so long. I should paint fruit next time we do a sketchbook page. Remind me next time we do a sketchbook page, I should paint a fruit. I haven't in so long. And fruits are great. They're so bright and colourful, vibrant, and you can make light pass through like citrus and stuff. Some people are absolute magicians when it comes to painting fruit. They just show the light so well. I just want the tip of that fabric to be nice and bright. That explains why the tip of the finger is so bright. All context. Will my fruit have facial expressions? I don't know, I am pretty obsessed with that Twitter, which is like objects with a face. I want to send them a picture of my wok, because my wok handles have little happy faces going, yeah! We could always put a face on fruit. Bananas are smug little bitches. They'd be great to have a face on. Depends what fruit I have around. Oh, actually, one of my mates, Jessica, look her up on Instagram, look her up on, I think she has her own website, which is just jessica.com. She did this range of pins of fruits with facial expressions. Actually, I'm going to find it. Because they're flippin' amazing, and the lemon is the best. Slightly distracted, but that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. There we go. I want pins. I'll show you guys all her work. Look over here. These are all of her pins. They're beautiful. So she's Jessica, and she does all sorts of different designs. They're all stunning. I have some of these ones in the different colorway, the fatigue and anxiety depression pins. They're stunning. Where are the little fruits? Where are the little fruits? She has beautiful birds and things. These stingrays are just fucking cute. Where are the little fruits? Ah, maybe they're not for sale. Maybe they were a Kickstarter. They might have been a Kickstarter. I'm gonna try one more way. If I can find them, I'll be so happy. Just want to show you the lemon. Whee! Lemon, 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 lemon. Ah, there's one. He's a little dragon fruit. Isn't he cute? He's so angry. Ah! They make me so happy. Oh, he's so cute. And then, was the lemon the next one? There's the lemon! There's the lemon. Doesn't he look sour and pompous? I'm very easily entertained, by the way. So, these are pins made by Oh Jessica Jessica. They're adorable. They're not on her Etsy at the moment, but there's a link to her shop in bio, so check that out. And buy a pompous lemon if you want a pompous lemon on your top, because you should. Alright, I'll go back to my other screen now. There we go. Actually, looking at it now through the screen, that looks like it's doing the transparency thing the way I want it to. Yay! Transparent fabric! Transparent fabric! We can do this. Yeah. Isn't the pompous lemon cute? It's so cute. So... For some reason I can't see all my stuff in OBS. But that's okay. I don't need to see that stuff. I can see the chat with you guys on YouTube, so that's fine. Okay. I think we're going to try and do one more finger. And then I might break for lunch. So how long have we been streaming? 2 hours. Yeah, that's not too bad. Let's do a tiny bit more red on this finger. Of that other brush. Yeah. And this finger has a bit of a bulge in it that shouldn't be there. That. Birdie, hi cat! How are you? Aren't you working today? No, you worked yesterday. How was work? How are things? This is my ugly stage of painting, so you can't judge it yet. Except you can, like, this is the fabric we've been working on today. I'm trying to do transparent fabric. Cat, why am I doing this to myself? Why? Why? Hi! I don't understand why I'm doing this to myself, but oh well. You're just thinking I'm silly? Accurate thought. That's fair. No, I'm gonna try and get this completed by the end of the month. Good luck me! Because the Kennedy Art Prize is on. Did you get your entry into the Copic competition? Which one did you pick? It will be worth it! Yes, eventually. Future Liz will be happy. Current Liz is trying to paint a finger. Arduously. But that's okay. Oh, so your totally new one was the Copic entry, the one with the fox. Cat, you're amazing. 3 days before entries closed, so it's a bit tight though. Yeah, you didn't enter the Halo one that I wanted you to enter. That's okay. The one with the fox is freaking stunning. So that is a lovely piece. Everyone should go check out Cat Art Illustrations on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram. TikTok in particular, because she's been crashing the world over there, which is awesome. And go check out this piece I'm talking about with a fox in it. I think it's her latest piece. And it's awesome. Yeah, but at the end, did you go, it was worth it? Because this is what you're telling me here at the end. Did you say it was worth it? I want to hear these words from you. Yes, this is on aluminium today. This is one of my big boards. So it's like, I think it's like 120 by something. That's huge. Oh, you're editing the video for it now! No, don't hate it right now. You're just looking at the video. Videos are a special kind of effort. Yeah, once you're done, you'll like it again. Ha ha ha. Worth it! Correct. Now, all the fingers at the top look very close together. And then the heel of the hand looks crazy far down, but that is correct. I'm just double checking. No, my heel of my hand is too far down. I'm gonna zoom you guys out a bit. Yeah, see how far down the heel of the hand is? It should be closer. But that's okay, because I've barely painted anything here. Yeah, this is a big one, Kat, because the Kennedy is that big art prize in South Australia. That's the theme is beauty, which is nice and vague, so you can paint anything you want, which I adore. So yeah, I wanted to do something a little bit bigger for that. Because I can't do my Portuguese entry now because my sitter got stuck in Sydney when we were on lockdown, and then they went on lockdown, and they're still on lockdown. The fun. How's work stuff at the moment? Is it busy or is it quiet? So Kat works at the place where I was working before I took this break. Same art shop. Yeah. Both big chunks are busy than dead. Oh, well that makes life easy in the shop, doesn't it? No idea when it will be busy and no idea when it will be quiet. Hi Jessica, hi Mary! How we doing? Didn't sit down yesterday till 4:30. Oh, did you have 4:30 lunch, you crazy woman? That's hectic. My problem is I want to come visit and chat, but I don't need art supplies, and I know if I come down, I'm going to buy art supplies because I like art supplies. With money I don't have. Granted, I sold an artwork last month, which is great, but I'm trying to pay back my savings account what I spent when I didn't sell an artwork, so I have the money, but I'm trying to put that forward to the next thing, and I'm paying for a lot of framing at the moment because I just finished a bunch of pieces. So in 2 weeks I'm going to have to pay money for the framer. So I can't spend the money even though it's there. Which is a whole thing. Yeah. Framing is ouch, but I go down to Mornington because Southern Boy does such a good job at such a good price. And that's what yesterday I went down to drop off new stuff. And I took Dipper with me, so we went to an oval in Dandenong on the way there and had a run around, and that was great because there was a fully fenced in oval and no one was there, so I could have her off lead. And because she's just a baby, I don't trust her at off lead parks or anything yet, but we worked on our recall and she was absolutely great because there was no distractions except for the train going past, which she was fascinated by, and that's fine. So that was really fun, and then I went down to the framer and then I took her to the beach for a little bit, which was freezing, so we didn't last long there. She wasn't interested in the water at all, but she did find seaweed fascinating. Very fun to sniff, very interesting. So that was really cute. She had a ball down there, and then she slept like the whole ride home and then was kind of groggy and overtired when she got into the house. So I've got to work on getting her to drink water outside of the house at the moment because she doesn't trust any of the public drinking fountains for dogs, and she doesn't like the little cup container that I bought from the art shop, which is like a collapsible water container. She doesn't like that, so I need to find something that she will drink water out of. Maybe just take a normal water dish with us. But I don't know, she's got like 5 water dishes around the house, and some days she's fussy and refuses to drink out of this one or that one and only the other one. Crazy dog. But I love her. Yeah, it was a really good doggy day, and because I was doing like an errand at the time, it felt productive. Because I had to drive down to Mornington anyway. And then we did fun times around that, and that was a really good use of time. Although I felt bad, I didn't realise my mother-in-law was free, because she lives down there, and I thought she was at work. And then she messaged me later to say she was free, so when I go back down to pick up the framing, I'll have to catch up with her with Dipper, because that'll be nice. Yeah, she is a funny fusspot for a Muppet. She's a doggy daycare today cat, so she's going to be very social today, and then be absolutely dead tonight. Which is nice. We're doing sort of the one day a fortnight with doggy daycare, and she's loving it for the socialising and playing with other dogs, supervised. Even though we've gone somewhere else for training now. Indy's a daycare too. Yay! Productive art day! All the parents get to be productive. Yeah? How long has she been going to daycare? Is that new? That is awesome. Oh, this is her 4th day. Oh, congratulations, Indy. 4th full day. Is she absolutely loving it? Telling you all the things when she gets home? 1 day a week. Oh, that's so good. And it's the day in between your work. Yeah, that works out awesome. Well done, Mum, as well, because I know that would have been an adjustment period for you too. Slowly getting more confident that we will make this fabric look transparent. So thank you all for being here with me while I have had moral quandaries about it. But I think it's doing the thing, slowly but surely. I think I've just got to put some more of my warm blues into the cool blues, because the background's got a lot of warm blue in it. And so far this fabric doesn't have any of that warm blue. She hates me leaving her and guilts me so much that then she doesn't want to come home when I come get her. Oh, and she's made some friends. That is wonderful. Aww. That's really cute. That's really cute. Yay. Should have some play dates with the friends. That is good if she keeps going back with the same crew every week. That's awesome, because then she can sort of build those relationships and those friendships. Dipper has a friendship with a baby corgi. They like to tussle and play all the time, which I get photos of at 4 o'clock, so I'm very happy with that. Your little boy's been going to daycare for 6 months and is still the same. Oh, the same with the I don't want to come home, but also I don't want to go. That's really cute. That's really cute. I know it's probably annoying as heck as the parent, but as a complete outsider, that's really cute. Adorable. Alright, so I'm happy with the size of the hand now. Still think I'm gonna have to chop the bottom of the hand off about there. Oh, sorry, you can't see that. Ugh. You can sort of see this dark line I've just put in. I'm just trying to measure from the bottom of the chin to the bottom of the hand. Yeah, even like there, I've got to chop off the bottom of the hand a lot higher up than where I had it before, because my hand was a bit giant. But that's okay. You just drop her off and she goes now. Good! Just run away. They'll get easily distracted in a moment. Also, Kat, I liked your TikTok on you colouring your hair. It's very cute. I need to recolour my hair so badly. Because all up here isn't green now. It's green from about here down. And I need it to be green because I'm a bridesmaid in a wedding in September. Yeah. Off to bed, Kat? No worries. Thank you so much for joining us. I think I'll only go for a little bit longer. We might make it to 3 hours and then I might call lunchtime. But thank you so much for your questions and everything, and have a lovely night. Thank you. Joe, no fuss drop-off sometimes happens with your big girl, but not consistently. That's not. She in primary school already. Heck. Heck. That's fast. I have no concept of how old my friends' kids are. I just assume they're all tiny. Like, Charlotte will be a baby forever. She is tiny, and she will always be tiny. I refuse to let her grow, in my mind. Although their family photos the other day were super cute. Also, Joe, am I allowed to say congrats on the big thing? Sally told me about the big thing. All grown up now. She's as dramatic as a tween, but not nearly that old yet. Okay, that's funny. It was like Sally as a kid. She was always sort of older than she was acting. And then I wished I was that old, even though I was a young'un. Yeah. Kids with attitude are extra adorable for outsiders like me. Although again, I'm sure it's both annoying and cute at the same time. Congrats on the big thing! I had that place in my wish list. So, congrats. Also, yeah, I hope you wanted people to know, because Sally's a blab. I love her, but she's a blab. Slowly coming to terms. It's only a giant debt that you'll have for the next decades. It's worth getting excited about. She's a lovable blab. And hey, I'm on the other side where I wish I had that giant debt. I'm on the side of I would love to have that giant debt because it would mean I have a house. If I had a house, then I wouldn't have to worry about putting paint on the carpet or things like that here in the studio. And that would be lovely. And then I could customize my studio and make it all fancy. Productive debt. Yeah. Fun debt. It's debt that's fun because you can paint walls if you want to. And hey, with those vaulted ceilings, you can do some heckin' hanging artwork everywhere, so go for it, right? Yeah. Like, I do hang artwork because, like, the rental laws changed and that sort of thing. And this place already had a whole bunch of those, like, gorilla screws in the walls. The ones where the plastic knob's in the wall and then you just put the screw into it. So I've pretty much used all of those hooks for art, but I still want to hang up more. Yeah, moving with 2 kids is not a fun prospect. Do you have time, though? Do you have, like, more than 30 days? Do a call out on Facebook for boxes. I unfortunately got rid of all mine at the transfer station because I have no storage in this house. End of August. Oh, that's quick. Okay. Yeah. Maybe just convince them that camping is fun for like a week and just give them a backpack and a tent in the backyard and be all like, you live in the tent for the next 5 days while I pack the house. Have fun. live in the tent. Something like that. Like, you get these 5 outfits and that's all you get. Rotate them. And enjoy while I pack the house. It's not the middle of winter, we're progressing. It's like when you get into the start of August, it'll be on the tail end of winter, right? Kids are hardy. They'll be fine. Give them 2 doonas. That'll be fine. You don't pack the big soft stuff anyway. Because it's easier to just hurl it into the car. I have a bunch of bubble wrap if you want bubble wrap, by the way. Because I hoarded my bubble wrap when I couldn't keep the cardboard. And I probably have a lot more than I need. So you're welcome to have some bubble wrap if you need. Yeah, Jess builds character. Puts hair in their chest. Okay, cool. Where are you based now? Message me in Instagram or something and we'll coordinate a bubble wrap drop off. That can happen easy. Yay. Yeah, Instagram's probably the best. Message me on Instagram and I'll DM you there and drop off a bunch. The one I never buy enough of whenever we move is tape. I always buy like the 6 or the 8 pack and go, this will be enough, and it never is. But buy tape. Especially if the kids get hold of it. I'm liking how this is going, but I'm a little lost on where to go with the fingers now. I think I need to build out this bit of the fabric and then come back. Because often if I don't have something next to the thing, I can't see the relationships. The same as how I had to do this fabric before this bit. Sometimes you need to like enclose the thing that's difficult. Oh no, you wrapped your delicate things in newspaper and there was newsprint on them. Yeah, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Plain butcher's paper. Or what I just found actually is you can buy tissue paper from like storage places and get like a florist's wad for $30. Let me find out where it was that I bought it. Because I'm using nice Shiraz coloured tissue paper for my painting orders, as well as glassine paper, which doesn't stick. Yes, tea towels and towels, any toweling in the house, all of that for packing, that's fantastic. Where's my emails? Stanley Packaging. That's where I got mine from. I got 500 sheets of acid-free tissue paper for $30. And I'm not going to go through that anytime, and it's great. Yes, true, you have yarn. Put yarn around everything. All of yarn in every glass, other ones around. You won't be able to find what yarn you want at the other end, but it's fine. All the knitted things. I had to convince Sally of that when she moved, but she likes everything being everywhere. But she has a lot of knitted jumpers, so they were handy. Although she did most of the packing by herself, because of the timing of it. The unpacking she needs help with. But she's still not unpacked. I love my sister, but she's slow. Yes, it does also help the boxes not be too heavy. The first time me and Dr. Fizz moved, I may have just packed boxes per category, so I did a giant box full of books that was impossible to move. I have since learnt my lesson, and everything is half books, half other stuff. But I will never live that down, because he complains every move that something is too heavy, and I'm like, well, if you packed it, then you complain at yourself. I don't know. Most of the time I end up doing most of the packing, and then he does a lot of the heavy lifting on moving day, so... Which is good, because I don't... I do a fair bit of the heavy lifting, because it's faster when we both do it, but it's annoying. And normally we move in summer all the time because his jobs always start in February. So it's always sweaty and gross. Moving in the height of summer is not fun. I know you're moving in winter when it's freezing, but you know, I'm whinging about the opposite. Where are the places I found that were good for boxes? Yeah, see, my only problem with the Coles and the Woolly shopping bags is you can't really stack them. So they're great for like on the moving day, but before you need somewhere where you can put them all on the floor and cover the floor because you can't really stack them. So you just got to be careful about that. Boxes you can stack, so that's how I end up building like giant box forts. You can see here already how much this has changed from bright teal fabric to orange. It's got such a huge colour change because our hand's blocking the blue light. So the blue light will come through about halfway. Ooh, a horse float. That's fantastic for moving. Yes, absolutely. That's when I tapped the boss on the shoulder and was all like, can I borrow the work van for a day? We managed to move most of our boxes without the movers, and then the movers did most of the furniture, which dramatically cut the time that they were working, which was good. Horse float, you'd be able to fill heaps. Just going to move you guys down a bit because we have progressed down the painting. There we go. We've got a fair way today. We've gone from here to there. That's not too bad. I'm probably going to keep going on this all afternoon. I'm going to live to hate that line. That's the thing with the way I get my aluminium prepared. The second you put a line on it, it like sticks. So I put that line there so I knew how this curve made sense. Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. What do I need? I need worker junk. Alright, I think I'm calling it. I think that tube is dead. I just squeezed up into the cab and there is nothing left. He's dead. Missed the bin, but that's fine. Flaked white paint onto my thumb. See? Annoying tubes. Flaked paint literally onto my thumb. It's Newton. Unless they want to sponsor me, then I'll say their tubes are great. Say the paint is great, because that is true. And I will ignore the tubes entirely. Because that's what you do when you get sponsored, right? Is you just ignore the bad things and you just say the good things. Probably shouldn't say that on a recorded video. Meh! I like being honest. Under here is really interesting because it's sort of got this blue again. So Oh, we get it. The other thing I think I'm really lucky about live stream is you guys force me to start things that may have taken me all day to start. Like if I was left to my own devices, I put on a load of washing before I started, I probably would have messed around with that, messed around with cleaning the house, and then probably started painting around now. Or maybe gone, oh, I'll start painting, no wait, I'll have lunch, then I'll start painting. And instead, we've gotten a good almost 3 hours of painting done this morning, because I had a deadline to come and start at 10 o'clock, which was great. Now I can do another afternoon session and feel very productive. So thank you. Not to be said, I won't have lunch and then do a bit more house cleaning, because house cleaning is so much easier when the puppy isn't here. It's just so much easier. You guys find that with the kids, the second the kids aren't home, you can just actually do things around the house and make progress. And especially with things like vacuuming and that. Which granted, she's not scared of the vacuum cleaner, but she does want to like be at my feet the whole time. Just because I'm doing something. And then she's gotten in the habit of pulling things out of the play box the second I put the stuff in the play box. And I'm just like, what? Yeah, see? It's easier when they're not here because you can just do things at your own pace and just take your time, put something on the TV. Not a mystery podcast, something. Not the Wiggles. Although actually, Kat, are you still there? Kat Art? Yeah. Do you guys ever watch Bounce Patrol on YouTube? I don't know if it's too young for indie now. I went to a YouTube lecture-y thing that was all about, well, it was an online lecture-y thing, and I didn't realise that the most famous, successful Australian YouTuber makes kids content. He's like got 23 billion views, or a billion, something in the billions worth of views, which is insane. Yeah, right? I hadn't heard of her either, but she's like way more successful than any other Australian YouTuber. And it's like all like fancy, colourful kids songs and things like that. Where is it? The numbers just blew me away. 23.4 million subscribers. And I forget how many views, but it was in the billions. Where's her most popular video? Her most popular video has 2.4 billion views. Kids content. It's insane. Which granted, I'm never going to be doing like kids content because I'm a painter, but it was just interesting. There's a dude like Blippy like that. Who's Blippy? Oh yeah, 12.8 million, so he's about halfway to the other one. And yeah, apparently that's it. It's just kids watch things on repeat over and over and over again, which is hella good for the algorithm, and so it recommends it over and over again, and they've like got the most effective method because kids just watch again and again. Because yeah, the lecture was all about like thumbnails and stuff, and I've since gone through and made my thumbnails easier to read and a little bit clearer and things like that. And yeah, for kids content, it's like all about the thumbnail because they're not reading the title of the video. They're literally picking on the picture that's the most appealing. So it was a very interesting talk. My main problem was I didn't realize some of my videos, when you're viewing them on mobile and things like that, the titles were underneath the timestamp because I was doing the titles on the bottom. So it was a rookie mistake on my own part. So now all my titles are on the top, so it's nice and clear and easy to read. And I've done less titles in general because some of them you just want to see the picture of the painting that I'm doing and that sort of thing. Yeah. Things like that. I still might change a couple of them, but it felt good to sort of be told by someone some easy do's and don'ts. Because most of this is just me asking Kat how to do things. Or figuring it out, I guess. I don't think I want to go any brighter than that there, because that's the brightest part of the fabric. Yeah. And that is hella bright, yeah. Don't want to do that, alright. Lippy is like kitty crack, oh god. You have many ideas, Kat. Your stuff's great. And you've been successful on YouTube for years, so take that, successful person. Aha. By the way, if anyone hasn't checked out Cat Art Illustrations on YouTube, I know I mentioned she's awesome on TikTok before, her YouTube is also fabulous. And I like the videos where she goes through art hauls, and I like the videos where you did the etcher bag with our friend. I need to ring her. Yeah, stuff like that. I like your art studio tour videos, they're nice. They're quite nice. Yeah. You still haven't done a Japan haul from 3 years ago. Eh! They're art supplies, they'll last. They'll be fine. Have you got Japanese candy in there? That may not last. Yeah, as long as you haven't got Japanese food in there, I would be dubious 3 years later if that food was okay. But I would definitely do your whole video so you can play with the art supplies. That's the problem with the haul, is you really want to keep it all together and wait until it's done. Oh, thank you, Brecca! This is still just early layers, so it's definitely going to get more intense as we go. But like today we've done all this area up here and we've started trying to figure out this transparent fabric with the fingers in it. So we've made some progress, I'm really happy. You don't think there's candy in that bag from 3 years ago, but you don't know. Dun dun dun, that could be surprise food. Surprise 3-year-old food. And then the question is, do you still eat it? Because if it's candy, it's probably fine. But at the same time, it depends on what kind of candy it is. I'm not suggesting you eat expired food at all, but you know, I'm a YouTube video, I like to be entertained. YouTube viewer. How are you, Brecca? How's your day going? That is a good thing about me moving house almost every year, is you do go through things like old expired food very quickly. Like, it doesn't happen because you clear out the cupboards that often. That's a good point. That's a good point. This year, celiac would mean expired candy would probably do a lot more ill to you. Lots of running around and finishing a painting! Oh, awesome, Rebecca! Finishing a painting days are the best days. You're like almost on a high from the start of the painting session because you know that good part's coming when you can put the brush down and go, I did it. I did the thing. I am probably most of a month away on this piece, but that's okay. We've made progress today and that's all I wanted, so I'm happy with that. Yeah, you could always see if you could find a willing person to be that person in the video to eat expired candy. Not me. Or take it to work. You know Nick would eat it. You know he would. Although he'd probably say anything from Japan was weird, because he's used to Australian stuff. I miss hanging out at work. Just for the social part. I don't miss the work part, I miss the social part of hanging out at work. Definitely a good day when you can get some solid painting done. Absolutely. I was saying my puppy's in puppy playcare today, so that's why I'm like, I can be productive today and not distracted and don't have to be aware of what she's doing because she's off playing with puppy dogs, so it's a good productive mood in here today, which I like. Just gotta figure out what the heck is happening up here. The fabric's like folding over the top of the fingers, so the fingers and the fabric are all becoming one big folded mess. No. I wanted a challenging subject, and I got it. Actually, I don't know if I wanted a challenging subject. I found a challenging subject and said, I want to paint it. Ugh. No worries, have fun, Joe. Yeah, I might head off in a little bit. I'm hungry. You stole your chocolate last week, cat. That's not a well-guarded chocolate if Nick stole your chocolate. Or was it chocolate you weren't allowed to eat? So that would have been mean as well. This painting, so this one is a figurative piece and a sort of a play on introspective moods. So it's a large piece like that, and you can sort of see how she's got this transparent fabric that she's shrouding herself in. And what drew me to this one was actually the reference photo is of a friend of mine who's a model, and she messaged me and said, look, we've just me and this photographer friend of mine have just taken this photo, or this series of photos, and we think it's totally up your alley. What do you think? And I had a look through them, and I ended up buying 3 reference photos of them because they're just so intense and brightly coloured, but they're very emotionally an interior space. So this one's sort of almost like ongoing, dealing with the different moods that the COVID stuff has put on us all. And this one's definitely not shouting out to the world how you feel, but really being stuck with that gut feeling inside of you don't know if you're going to be locked down again, if you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, that sort of dread. Her eyes are actually facing down, and yeah, her lips need to look a little bit less happy, but we'll get there with the mood. But it's this sort of interior exterior moment, so I'm excited about that. And it's a painting that, yeah, with the second I saw the reference photo, I'm like, I want to paint that intensely. So that's sort of where we're going with that. Sorry, my mile stick keeps going in the way, but I need to lean. Oh, where am I? Need to lean on it. Because this is how I don't get handprints all through the painting. It was the only choc you could eat, but no, not well guarded. Oh, rookie mistake, cat. You let the boss near chocolate that you could eat. That was a rookie mistake. And how rude! He ate your special chocolate. I miss the banter. I sort of felt like going back to work, like mid-June, and I'm like, no, Liz, you asked for the time off, make a proper go of it. And it was because I'd finished some paintings, and I was like, that was when I found out I couldn't get my model down from Sydney, and I was just depressed about it. And I'm like, I should just go back to work. But I'm trying hard to do this as hard as I can, and then near Christmas time, if you guys need the help, I'll be there for sure. I reckon near Christmas time is always sort of a bit of a dead art space because there isn't very many shows on and things like that, so it all kicks back off again in like February usually. So it's a good time to do other things, which for me might be rebuild the bank balance. Nope, not allowed. You'll lock me out, rude. Oh, Leanne took my keys too, otherwise I would have been able to unlock the door. F you! Fine, I'll just come back and spend the money I don't have on art supplies. Fine. Then I can be social. Yeah. That's it, just not yet. Gotta finish some more paintings first. And get the dog a bit better trained. She started at her other training place this weekend. It was really good. Clear instructions, straight to the point. Here's how we're doing sit. Here's how we're doing drop. Here's where we're doing meeting other puppies. Like, things like that. And I'm like, this is so nice and clear, and it's all positive reinforcement, and I'm much happier. Although she got disinterested about halfway through because I think she got sick of the treats that we were using, and the other dogs were more interesting. So I think I need to have a better variety of treats so she doesn't get bored halfway through. Yeah. Which is nice. Alright, I'm hungry. I think I'm gonna call it. So I can go have some lunch and then come back and mess around with this a bit more off stream. Let's zoom out a little bit. I'm so happy with how this area is looking. It definitely needs another layer to get that translucency of the colour, but like form-wise, I'm really happy with it, so. Oh yeah, that would make it low-key interesting in training, but he's pretty dedicated to you, so that's good. That's good. Thank you! Thank you all so much for joining me today. I've had such a lovely, productive morning, and yeah, just thank you always for all your questions and chatting, because this really helps me get going, and this is something I've been wanting to do, but also slightly dreading, just because I know it's hard. But I think we're getting there, and I love how the colour changes here. I love that little colour change in the fabric, so I think that'll look really effective. And then when I can get the face pulled together, all the attention will go there, which will be lovely. So I've got a month to finish this painting. Let's see how we can go. Thank you all so much for joining me. As always, you are welcome to buy me a caffeine if you would like to support me. I have a little caffeine donation link through Ko-fi, or please subscribe to the channel. We are hopefully going to try our best to get monetized by the end of this year. That's the goal. So thank you for joining me as always. My next stream will be next week, Thursday night at 8 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time, unless I decide to do another one sooner. Yeah. I might do more when I just feel like logging in for a bit, but for now I like the schedule of the Thursday night and the Wednesday morning, so we'll keep going with that definitely, and any additional streams will be like surprise streams. So thank you all so much, and I'll see you later. Have a great day. See ya.